So today I'm going to be putting together a fairly small piece that came from some of these Ladybird books I got from charity shops, and these two ones that are forming the base of it are actually fairly recent prints of these stories. But I actually came up with the idea for this particular piece while actually in the shop ready to buy them, because I was flipping through them and saw this one bit. Actually, no, I saw this first actually. I thought these had some good pictures, and flipping through saw this, and I thought, hang on, this would actually look very good with the battle in the background coming up, being taken out of there. So that's what I'm going to do. So in this case, I'm going to cheat with it. I'm going to remove these lights. I don't need them there, and it's just gonna cause more of a headache. And so, as well as removing this there, which would still make a good enough piece as it is, I'm going to add some weirdness in by trying to put this guy on a scrambler bike in there. I'm also going to have, so I like to use hands, and a magnifying glass is always good. I'm going to put that in there. And I did toy with the idea of putting, in fact, I could actually probably put this TV broadcast of the scrambler bike inside the magnifying glass as well. So that's what I'll probably do with that. So now these ones I was able to take out. These are from older books. A older book actually is from this one, and I was able to take those out by cutting the string that they used to bind it. But these are later pressings, so they're not actually saddle stitched. They're can't remember the name of the cut binding technique, but they're glued in basically. So I'm going to have to use my knife to just try and cut through here, just cut through the glue, and then with any luck it should. There you go, and it just takes take a little bit of trimming once it's done. Let's put that book out of the way, and let's have a go at this one as well. Again, as you see, I'm cutting it right in the middle, so I try not to damage this piece and any others, because these are now all still good. Only have a slight tear here, but you're not going to see it anyway, because it's going to be inside here, because this is the bit that I'm going to use in here. So let's get this bit cut out, and also just to be lazy, because I don't need to have too much. I'm going to too much cutting, and this is water anyway, so I'm going to just cut down to here. So I'm going to leave these bits here. I could cut these out here, but then I would end up having a lot of this bit here all and would be like, well, where's that coming from? So it makes more sense to have it just being cut from here. So I think because I do a lot of this type of stuff where I'm removing stuff out of windows is also another reason for me never really getting into using scissors, because I'm not often doing the kind of piece where that kind of that kind of cutting work is needed. Because some of the people who use primarily scissors, they will still, if they have to cut something out in the middle or something, or do something fine detail, they will usually have to go to a knife. I mean, if you're really good with scissors and have some really good fine cuticle scissors, you probably could, if you really wanted to. So I don't know who of the early collage artists started using knives, because the only thing I have seen that mentions about how, say, like for instance, John Hartfield does any of his cutting out is I've seen him where there's a reference to him using scissors, because there's a picture, he did a photo montage of him pretending to start to cut the head off a German police chief with a pair of scissors. So that's where I got that from, inference from. I mean, I'm sure craft knives will have existed back then. Tidy this guy up a bit. That's most of that cut out. No, it's just the other bits around this lady. Yeah. Or actually, I'll keep this bit here because it's the same colour as what you would get here. Hope you get to see the actual warfare. I'll just take out this space in the crook of her arm. So here we have here, I'm trying to get the right positioning in, because part of this, what's supposed to make this work is the explosions. So hope this actually makes it appear there's something going on there. So that's those bits cut, which I'm fairly happy with. Actually, yes, I best keep these here because I'll lose have a bit of a gap coming down there otherwise. So that was a happy accident. So now put these guys to one side, these pages to one side, and I shall start to work with the guy on the bike. And again, I'll keep this page for later because that's got some interesting pictures. What I'm going to do first is, because if I'm intending on losing what's in here but still cutting around here, it's a lot of fine cutting to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to maybe glue this onto here first. No, I shouldn't do that actually, because I'll end up gluing over the... No, I know what to do actually. off, so got more room to work with. This is going to be the hardest part of it. Cutting around here. I mean, I'm not going to get a perfect circle. I'd have to actually have a tool to do that. And you can get tools that will cut circles in paper. I don't know if you can adjust the size. Anybody knows, please do mention in the comments, because they would be very useful. It's actually gone quite a bit better than I thought it would. So lucky that. So now what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to be using this to cut anything, so this will be my gluing base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue on the back here. So I'm going to stick this to here first. So I've got maybe got something a little thicker to work with. So let's see. I think that would look lovely. I'll give that a little bit of time to dry off. Get rid of that excess. And while that's being done, being dried, I shall cut through the motorcyclist. As always, these things I like to chip away. I always liken it to being a sculptor working away at their block. Some would argue that's putting a lot more, that's giving my kind of artwork I do a lot more credit than it deserves, but that's their opinion. But it makes it a lot easier for me to work with them like this, so I don't have whacking bits of paper. This is why I cut, like I said, I cut these bits off. I've got less hanging around, and I can see what I'm doing better, whether I'm going down the right route. I mean, I do that with the digital pieces as well. I will sometimes I will with the tool I will mark there, draw there, and that out, and then delete, delete. Or sometimes I will actually just cut roughly all the way around there first, and then do the fine cutting, because it also minimizes the job in your mind. It makes it easy, because if it breaks it down into little pieces for you. And it's always said that, you know, if you're doing a job, if you could break it down into smaller pieces, it will then make it a lot easier for you to do. It doesn't seem quite so much of a burden. This is coming away quite nicely, I think. Hopefully this will fit in nicely with the picture. This is only going to be a small piece, but still, I've done some fairly good. I'm doing some small pieces that I've always been fairly happy with. They don't have to be big A4 or A3 size pieces, or done to specifically to the size of a frame. Not there's anything wrong with doing that, because I do make pictures, images, collages that are to that. But this is a nice, almost, it's a bit bigger than a postcard, but it's a similar sized image. So this is an image that could very well go into that kind of format. So let's see how well this is going to fit in here. Fortunately, the bottom of the wheel is a bit funny, a bit flattened. There's nothing to be done about that. Although I could kind of draw in with a black pen. So let's put him here. But if I put him around there, it won't really matter. So the bits I'm going to have to cut out, if I do that like that there, I only really have to cut out her hand to tuck it in. Now, what I was originally had in mind, I was going to put something in her hand instead of this glass, but I do that so often that I decided not to on this occasion. So what I will do then is, let's have a look again. You know what, so I can see a bit more of him, and to make it easier, I'm going to lose the fingers. You know, there's a lot of cheating on this one. Or sometimes I would ordinarily cut out the fingers, but in this case, oh, broke my, pressed down so hard I broke my blade. Let's get another one. The last one from this pack. A quick little tutorial on how to change the blade, even though I've done a video that does that. Lift up, take out, and slide this in. You see a little groove there. You slide this in. There you go. Make sure you have dry hands when you do it so it doesn't slip. So let's get back to business. So again, now it's, when you do things like this, there's a lot of going back and forth and checking how far you have to cut. So I think, yeah, I will tuck him under his wheel, under her leg, and that will hide the fact that the bottom of the wheel isn't round. So I don't want to cut too far down the wrist, because no matter how neatly I might cut it, which sometimes isn't that neat, you will be able to see the cut. It's almost one of the unmistakable parts of doing hand-cut collage, or analog collage, depending on where you put it. With digital, wanted to, I could put in some effort to hide that. In this occasion though, there's a bit there that hasn't cut yet. As you can see, that tucks in there quite nicely. So what I will do now is I will glue this down. As you can see here, with glue, it's sticky. The thing about glue that works is the bad thing about glue is that it's sticky. So positioning stuff can be a little bit of a trick. Just bent the glass stem there. Turns out in the end I didn't actually need to cut down here, so you'll be able to see that, but it is what it is. And now what I will do is I will glue the parts here to put on the background, and this should stick where I've cut too far into place, so you may not see it as much. So here you go. So you can still see the battle that's going on in the background. That's all those bits done. And on, I shall just, oh, it hasn't stuck there, attach a bit more glue. So that's done, and next I will cut out the magnifying glass, which will likely be a bit more intricate. So I should do that in a moment. Okay, so I'm back, and let's now do the magnifying glass. So that's stuck down nicely. Lots of fingers. Right, so easiest part now will be to take out the hand. Take that bit whole, the largest part. Oh, I didn't need to cut through this kid. Oops, well, I can't use that anymore now. I might still be able to actually, if I do like this kid. So I'm going to do a quick patch on this before I forget. Shows that not every mistake is catastrophic. There you go, good as new. Because I just like the look of this child here. This picture of this child that could be used for another piece. So that got lucky. So yeah, I'm now leaving the stage where I have the easy bit, and now this is where things get quite a bit more difficult. But this is why I glued the thing on the back beforehand, so it means I don't have to cut around this another time. It's also, if the material I'm cutting through is a bit thicker, it will help a lot with it being rigid enough. So what I did was, since I'm cutting, so I cut around here first, and then stuck the thing to the back. It's not like so these bits wouldn't move. If I didn't do that, these bits would move around a lot more. And as you can see, I had trouble with cutting out the inside here. It's gone inside the lines a bit, which is unfortunate, but it's not catastrophic. It hasn't totally broken it. I'm going to tidy it up a bit. And if I was really that bothered before publication, I could just fix it digitally. I could just do a guide there and then just paint it in. But then that brings up the question that has been brought up, that once, if I have to do a digital fix like that, is it still an analog collage? My answer to that has been that if I was to exhibit the untouched original, it would be. And if I was to publish it like this, maybe you could consider it mixed media. I think I'll tidy his hand up a bit there. Quite so much of the yellow outline, and I'm being very clumsy today. Glued that on there. Now I shall put this. So the trouble now is you lose the battle in the background. So you'll go on there like that. And bear in mind, the battle in the background was the original point of the piece. So I've got those on there. I shall tidy this a bit. See how it looks. Fortunately, now you don't see that woman's face, but that's unfortunate, but that could be part of the point. So the original context of what I had in mind has now actually been changed by me putting this on there. I just thought it'd be fun to put the that on there, but hang on, I could see if, because I like the blank look in her face, so if I was to put actually here, you still get some of the battle and you get what's going on here. So it's a bit of a compromise, and these two people in the background don't really mean much. And I shall have to fix this here because I cut through. Right, so I shall now sign this. And I shall trim off the sides. so you can see how it's supposed to look. I know you can get proper cutters that would make a much better and smoother cut than this, but I don't have one. So I don't have a full studio per se, so I do not have the room to have tools like that, as despite how much easier they would make life. Get there, and right there. There was a time that I would have actually just tucked that behind it, but in this case I've locked it off. So now I've got to come up with the title for the thing. So this is a lot of exciting things going around it, and part of the point is I liked the bored look on her face to be part of it. I shall call it Blasé. And here is the small finished piece. So let me know what you think of this piece, whether you like it, whether you like the techniques I've done this today, if this has given you any ideas, and like, share and subscribe. And as always, my description has my link tree, which has my merch links and my socials, and I shall speak to you soon. Thank you.